Zhilin crouched in the corner of her small apartment, back pressed against the damp wall as she strained to see past the torn screen of her window. The city sprawled out like a diseased organism, its skin of steel and concrete pulsing with an otherworldly energy. Every now and then, a faint hum seemed to emanate from the high-rises, like a chorus of restless spirits. It was always around this time that Zhilin felt it, a creeping sense of wrongness that seeped into her bones like cold water. She tried to shake off the feeling, telling herself she was just tired or anxious, but it persisted. Her mind began to wander back to the incident at the factory where she worked. Kaito had been the one to notice it first, a slight variation in the machine's rhythm that seemed almost imperceptible until he pointed it out. At first, they thought it was just a minor glitch, but as the days went by, the discrepancy grew more pronounced. It was as if the machine was adapting, learning from its own failures. Management had dismissed Kaito's concerns, attributing them to fatigue or paranoia. But Zhilin couldn't shake off the feeling that something was very wrong. And now, as she gazed out into the city's labyrinthine streets, she began to suspect that it wasn't just the factory that was malfunctioning, it was everything. The hum outside grew louder, a low-pitched thrumming that vibrated through her body like a bass note on a guitar string. Zhilin felt herself being drawn towards the sound, as if an unseen force was beckoning her into its depths. She tried to resist, but her legs seemed to move of their own accord. She stumbled out onto the fire escape, the metal grating creaking beneath her weight like a scream. The city spread out before her in all its grotesque beauty, a twisted, nightmarish realm that seemed to be watching her with cold, calculating eyes. Zhilin's breath caught in her throat as she realized that she was no longer alone on the fire escape. A figure stood just beyond the edge of the light, silhouetted against the city's towering backdrop. Its presence seemed to fill the entire space around it, a dark and impenetrable void. As Zhilin watched, transfixed with horror, the figure began to move, its shape shifting like molten lava as it flowed across the fire escape. It was coming towards her, its approach marked by an unsettling silence that hung in the air like a promise of doom. Zhilin tried to scream, but her voice caught in her throat like a stuck needle. The figure loomed closer, its presence suffocating her with an unspeakable horror, a terror so profound that it seemed to be eating away at her very soul. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, everything stopped. The hum died away, the city's pulsing energy ceased, and the figure vanished into nothingness like a ghostly apparition. Zhilin collapsed back against the wall of her apartment, gasping for air as if she'd been underwater for too long. Her mind reeled with questions: what had just happened? Was it real or was it some sort of madness-inducing hallucination? But one thing was certain, the world outside her window had changed in a way that seemed impossible to comprehend. And Zhilin knew, deep down in her bones, that she would never be able to go back to the way things were before.